Welcome back, everyone, to the Sports Minorities Podcast, your home for not-so-expert analysis, plenty of shit talking, and where we're crying, saying goodbye to football season. I'm your host, JC, your resident and maybe kind of optimistic Titans fan. Joining me this week, we got...
Fuck you, I ain't crying about that. I'm crying about that we got fucking cheated. Cheated!
Wow.
Still bitter. Oh, Chickenwing.
How did you get
Loyal Niners fan. Fuck you. All right.
Okay.
Hate you.
All right.
Yeah. Fuck you.
Nori here. It is kind of hysterical that the NFL doesn't even try to hide its bias. The Chiefs have never been called for holding in the Super Bowl. That's kind of hilarious.
That's shocking. And Rob is logged in, but I think he's asleep, so I don't know if he's going to pop in or not.
Well, I'll just go ahead and jump in here. DJ here, and I'm very, very optimistic. He said sarcastically. I'm looking forward to see how much Jerry Jones pays Dak Prescott to get another first-round exit. That's what I'm looking forward to. Yeah, $60 million for another first-round exit. It's gonna be great.
This is Phil. You guys choked as bad as the Jaguars did the second half of the season. That game. I don't know what happened.
Talk to me, Phil. I hate you.
That's how it is, right? The Jags choke in the second half of a season. The Niners choke in the second half of a Super Bowl. Is that how it goes? So, all right.
I hate all of you.
Thank you everyone for joining us. Today we're gonna finally discuss the Super Bowl, recap it. We're waiting for Chickenwing to get out of his emotional depression. Took a couple of weeks, but here we are. Thankfully knocking this out before the end of February. Talk a bit about some NBA news, NBA updates, some college football playoff updates with all the movement among teams in the different conferences as well. So, but let's get right into the Super Bowl. Kansas City comes out victorious. Nora, you said it. Never been called for holding in the Super Bowl. I don't even know if holding was even called at all in this Super Bowl from either team. I can't recall a whole lot of penalties.
Yeah, on the 49ers twice, I think.
Yep.
Okay. Yep.
On Trent Williams. Both times.
Right.
Wild.
Like back
and then when people...
right? So.
And when you talk to people who don't hate the 49ers, when they ask why that's relevant, well, if Nick Bosa and Chase Young can't get to the quarterback, then why are they there? So if you just hold them, you win the Super Bowl. That's easy, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So if the 49ers can't get to the quarterback, then, I mean, it's kind of GG. So it is super relevant that they got away with holding in every Super Bowl. It's kind of nuts.
Yeah.
It's wild.
I know
Wild.
they give a directive basically to the referees, like hold the whistle a bit, don't call as many penalties, but if something's blatant or their holding is happening, you got to make a call. I don't necessarily agree with that. Like you call it the way you've been calling it all season. It's the way it should be, right? So
You would think.
Well, yeah. Hold the whistle a little bit. Don't call this. But if it's the Chiefs, do not call them for holding. I don't care how bad it looks. Don't do it. Okay, great. So here we are.
Chickenwing, I do want to start with you on this though. Where do you think this game went wrong for the Niners?
It didn't. Besides the blatant holding, I think honestly it was between the muff punt, but it wasn't even McLeod's fault.
Terrible.
If you really look at it, I forgot what his name was. He was just at the wrong place at the wrong time, and the ball touched his foot. That's neither here nor there. That's not McLeod's fault. It wasn't like 11 years ago when the Giants had that muff punt recovery, and then they end up eventually becoming the Super Bowl champion. So, do you have that? The blocked extra point was crucial, but I don't think again it was. Really, everybody can say it's Moody's fault because he kicked it too low, but you never know, right? You just never know. And then I think really when it comes down to it, it was I wouldn't say it was the overtime when they elected to receive the ball first. I think it was more of the defensive play calling, knowing good and well Patrick will run the ball, and they left him open twice to do that. Gave him too much field to do that, knowing he needed to drive it. Outside of that, that's probably the biggest, in my opinion, the biggest fuck up that they did all game.
I think the biggest problem was the third quarter. Kyle Shanahan didn't choke as bad as last Super Bowl, but I don't know, I think he tried to pass it, but he got away from what was working. He tried to just step on their throat. But the whole game they were up 10-3, and they were frustrating the Chiefs because Mahomes couldn't. They had a very low time of possession. And they had to play 1982 football to beat the Chiefs, and it was working, and they just stopped. They didn't run the ball anymore. You have McCaffrey and Debo. I don't understand. You're not going to keep up with them in a passing game. So I think the third quarter they collapsed.
You know who I feel sorry for that game?
And all the other shit Mike said was right too, though.
It's very.
You know who I feel sorry for?
Go ahead, Phil. Sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
I was going to say, I feel sorry for Jake Moody.
I do.
First
I feel
half-
sorry for him.
I feel sorry for Jake Moody. First half, sets a Super Bowl record 55-yard kick, only to be outdone in the second half by Harrison Butker with a 57-yard kick.
Oh my god.
That's true too. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, I get it, but I don't get it because, obviously Brock played a hell of a game. Everybody's always giving Brock all shit all year. I mean, when you look at the stats, him and Patrick were neck and neck in stats, total yards, total completions, percentage completions. You can't blame Brock for picking apart. I forgot his name. I just drew a blank. Defensive coordinator.
Oh,
Spagnuolo.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was even to a point where Spagnuolo even called Brock, I think a week later, and gave him praise for how well he was decimating that defense. So, I mean, if Spagnuolo's calling Brock saying, "Hey, you did a hell of a job, kid," everybody else needs to shut the hell up. Obviously, Brock is doing what he needs to do.
Yeah.
And Spagnuolo called a great game too with what he
did.
had. And the 49ers run defense is not that good. So I just don't get how they're the number one running team. That's what got them to the Super Bowls was ball control. And you didn't have to put the ball in Brock's hands or, the kicker's hands. I just don't get it.
I just think
they sucked at third downs too.
They did. Third down conversion was pretty terrible for what the 49ers are used to doing. But I now that I'm really thinking about it, I think Kyle played too conservative in the second half. I think that's what he did. I think he played way too conservative, didn't give Brock a shot, and then Ayuk was open so many times. Poor guy. Him and Brock just weren't seeing eye to eye that game.
Well, even that. I mean, the offensive side. I mean, I don't fully understand why the Niners fired their defensive coordinator after the game. When I feel like the offensive play calling is what cost them. Scapegoat for sure. But it's weird. It's the second playoff game in a row that the Chiefs' opponent got away from what was working. The Ravens got away from running the ball on the Chiefs in the AFC Championship. And then the Niners, dude, Christian McCaffrey was tearing them up. Why did you not keep giving him the ball? It didn't make sense to me.
Well, I mean, that's typical Kyle Shanahan because he will get away from what's working in big games. Now, I will say this: I will slightly disagree with you, JC, because of the fact that the Niners did it better running the ball. Towards the end of the first half, the Ravens weren't really running the ball as effectively as the Niners were.
Yeah, so if the Niners were effective, why get away from it? That's what's confusing.
Exactly what Nori is saying. Why get away from it? Why get away with what's working?
Because Shanahan didn't want to hear everybody this time. Where again, it gets in his own head. It's like he keeps making the wrong decision. It's like he's literally cursed. Well, last time I didn't put up enough points, so I want to make sure I step in the throat this time. I don't want to play too conservative. But running the ball is not conservative when your whole fucking identity is running. That's like Atlanta's when they were in Atlanta years ago when he was the offensive coordinator. They weren't a running team. They were Matt Ryan save us team.
Yeah,
and they did a good job of that. Then they went to running and they shouldn't have. This time you have a goddamn running team. Nobody looks at the 49ers and thinks, "Oh man, Brock Purdy's team." No, it's McCaffrey's. It's fucking, Bosa, Young. Like you
Kittle.
think of those guys. Kittle, thank you. You don't ever think of fucking Brock Purdy, right? So, don't. He's a kid in the fucking Super Bowl. Don't put it in his hands. Run the goddamn ball. If McCaffrey gets tired, that Debo guy's kind of good. I don't understand.
It just
I didn't understand what I watched.
You have a running game, you have a lead, burn the clock, run the ball. You get a touchdown out of it, and you already have a lead by 3 or 4 points, however many it was. Just keep.
I mean, they had 5 3-and-outs in a row in the third quarter. Just to kind of tie in with Nori was saying, because if you keep getting 3-and-out, you're not controlling the clock at that point, and you keep giving the ball back to Patrick. Now, luckily, the defense was doing what they were doing, and they were really giving Patrick a hard time. Well, they were basically not making it easy for Patrick just to move down the field, which is exactly what you want. You want to tire out the offensive line.
Yes.
Until that overtime drive where they were just trying to protect the line of scrimmage and play their normal defense.
Right.
Not the line of scrimmage, but the line to gain.
Yeah. I know what you mean. And it's just crazy to me. Even Nori's cousin, Nicky called these Patrick's gonna run the ball. He called it twice. I'm just it's obvious. Look at the formation. Look at the right side. Patrick loves running to his right side. So why is Fred Warner on the left side? I don't understand.
Makes no sense.
I mean, Fred Warner don't get me wrong, he made hella plays all game, but it's just that last drive in the overtime that was just the biggest head scratcher. Not the fact that Brock didn't see Ayuk for the go ahead touchdown, because had he seen him, because again, Spagnuolo was blitzing him. Logic says if you're blitzing, you're sending an extra guy, which means a guy's going to be open. Figure out who your guy's going to be, and Ayuk is arguably the best route runner between the receiving core and Niners. You say what you want about Debo, but Ayuk is way better route runner than Debo is.
Yeah.
So here's something.
Well, Mike, to your point, Mike, real quick, you said, in a nutshell, 5 3-and-outs, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Point. Shanahan's supposed to be an offensive genius. I really didn't understand why he wasn't drawing up some of these plays we see him run during the regular season. Misdirections, whatever you want to call it.
I think it's experience, honestly. Between Spagnuolo and Reed, those two combined, I mean, it's taken both of those coaches to control Shanahan. That's a plus for Shanahan's offense.
So here's a question for y'all. Had the 49ers won, did Juwan Jennings get the MVP?
No.
Not with a passing touchdown and a receiving touchdown?
No.
No, they would have given it to Brock or
No,
I'm not saying the kid's undeserving of it, Phil. I'm not saying that. I mean that's amazing what he did, but he wouldn't have got it.
He wouldn't have got it. If anything, it would have gone to CMC because of how much he was running the ball and how much he was running it on Kansas City's defense.
Yeah.
Sure.
He also had 8 receptions for 80 yards.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
he had the ball in his hand. It was trouble for the Chiefs, and the Niners got away from that. So, now the overtime rule. This was the first time the playoff overtime rule was put in place. Ever since the Buffalo Bills bitched and moaned about the fact that their defense couldn't stop the Chiefs in that one playoff game.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, but obviously there was some confusion on it. Yes, the Niners took the ball first. I think, either they didn't fully understand the rule or they were thinking, okay, if we score and the Chiefs score, well, if we have the ball third, we're in position to win at that point, right? I mean,
which is true.
Yeah.
They're in position to win.
But, I mean, I figured they're going to march down and get a touchdown, but the Chiefs were already looking at it thinking, okay, if we won the toss, we were going to kick because we wanted it second. So now it was even to the point where Tony Romo didn't even fully understand the rule at the end of the first overtime quarter, if you will. So as I understood it, the Chiefs didn't necessarily have to score before time expired. There's still another period. They would have flipped sides of the field, and they still would have kept the ball on that drive. Granted, we'll never fully know. So
correct.
But DJ, we'll start with you on this one. Did the Niners make the right call taking the ball?
No, I believe they should have deferred. That way, Worst case scenario, if the Chiefs do score, then at least as the Shanahan-led Niners are concerned, you at least know what you need. They get a field goal, okay, cool. We get a field goal, we tie it up. We get a touchdown, we win. If they get a touchdown, okay, we have to score a touchdown in order to keep this game going. And at the end of the day, I don't believe they made the right decision. But if they took the ball, if they just go down there and score, we might be having a different conversation because maybe the Chiefs don't score a touchdown. Maybe
or even if they do,
the Niners end up
get
winning
the
the
ball again and score their own field goal to win it or something like that, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
But in a nutshell, no, they made the wrong choice.
Nori, do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Phil,
Yeah,
what about you?
I mean,
I'm sorry.
they didn't
wrong
seem very
choice.
prepared for
Not that it
overtime.
mattered, but it was the wrong choice.
All right. Chickenwing.
I guess I'm gonna be the only lone wolf. I think they
Hey,
made
it's
the
your
right
team,
choice.
so that's why I'm asking you. I want
No,
you to
no,
go
no.
first, yeah.
I think they made the right choice. For different reasons. They were struggling in the second half, so getting the ball last, knowing that pressure's already on top of them, and they haven't been effective the second half. I think getting the ball the first half would have set the tone. And then again, what JC was saying earlier, if you get the ball last, you're in position to win the game. And I think that was the thought process. So I understand why everybody's saying, well, they should have deferred. Yeah, they should have, but Patrick's been has been effective the second half. So if they score and the Niners haven't been scoring the second half, that puts that much more pressure on Brock. You don't want the kid to crack in his first game.
Yeah, I think another reason why they might have done that as well too, and they never have said this, but in the moment I was thinking, okay, he's probably taking the ball because his defense had just been on the field for a fairly long drive that the Chiefs were doing to tie the game, right? At the end of the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So it was a chance to give his defense some rest, talk things over how they can stop the Chiefs. That's another possibility. I mean, this can play out multiple ways, right? So I mean,
facts.
Yeah, but
this is the first game in Super Bowl history the lead changed hands on the final play.
That's also true.
Wow.
Yes.
That is crazy. And only the second Super Bowl to go to overtime as well. So pretty nice.
And to almost complete a full quarter in overtime.
Yeah.
Yeah, longest Super Bowl in history also.
For sure. So all those we got a lot of free football in the last day of football season. So yeah.
It's true. Yeah. Very true. So I mean, it sucks. It hurts. I get it.
Can your Niners get back there next year?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I don't doubt it. I want to see how this Chiefs Justin Jefferson rumor is going around first before we start talking about can we get back there.
They're not trading Justin Jefferson.
Oh no, there's confirmation that the Chiefs are prepared to send a lot of draft picks.
He's not going to sign.
Jefferson's camp said he won't sign with Minnesota until he knows who the quarterback is. It's like the worst kept secret in the league right now.
Wow. See, there you go.
So if it's Josh Dobbs, nope, I'm out. Basically,
pretty much.
All right. Well, as far as our bracket challenge standings, nothing changed. Nori already clinched the win, so there you go, Nori. Congratulations. So
yeah, fuck off.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Definitely a lot to hang our head on this season. There's already free agent sub talk right now. The franchise tag period is open right now for my Titans. They've already basically said they're not going to be tagging Derrick Henry, so we'll see how that goes.
Interesting.
Yep. Everything is wide open. I'm pretty sure Titans are in a bit of a rebuild, but I'm prepared for it.
Best player in team history.
Huh?
And best player in team history, and that's how they're going to do him.
Yeah. Well, who knows what's going to happen. It's crazy. So, now, of course, DJ, you talked about Dallas. The number's been thrown out there. Prescott wants, 60 million?
Yep. Something like that.
Yeah.
Isn't that his guaranteed piece of the contract? I could be wrong.
That hasn't been determined yet, and this is just what I read. But $60 million would be the contract. I just don't know what the guaranteed money would be. But yeah, he's gonna basically reset the market. And Jerry Jones has already said yep, we're looking to extend Dak. We'll talk numbers, blah blah blah. So, you know,
Okay.
so basically, we're going to re-sign Dak for another first round exit. That's what's happening. So
Because Mike
this is
McCarthy's
what it
still
is.
coach. Yeah. So.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And Jerry Jones. Oh yeah, we'll give you another shot. Mike, it was so close to no, you're stupid. You made a mistake. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, 60 million is the number that's been thrown around.
Yeah. Nori, have there been any major free agent moves, franchise tag moves for your Giants? So far?
They allegedly want to franchise Barkley, but they're not guaranteeing they will. They are optimistic, quote unquote, to meet with his camp to get a deal done. But if they're not going to franchise him for sure, there's already talk that apparently Stroud and Barkley have been texting each other. So
boy.
goodbye league if Barkley is healthy and gets to the Texans because everybody's cooked.
Ooh.
So I'm
You know what?
I'm
Go ahead. I'm
I'm
sorry.
prepared.
Go ahead.
I've been prepared for 2 years to lose him. We shouldn't have drafted him. He should have went to another team. I hate wasting his career. At the same time, it's unrealistic that he wants McCaffrey money without McCaffrey health. He's played 2 full seasons out of the 4 or 5 years with us. So the money he wants for a 27-year-old running back is absurd.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think the most fair thing they could do is give him 2 years. And he apparently didn't want it. It was like a chunk of money. It was like $22 million a year, like something ridiculous. I don't want to overpay him when we really have a lot of needs. So if he walks, we got to draft the running back. It is what it is. He's a huge part of the team right now, but like Gettleman would put us in cap hell just resigning him, and we just we have other needs, and I'm more than confident of getting a new quarterback. So
We'll be there next year.
I saw a great Daniel Jones meme today. I'm trying to find it, but something along the lines of like, if you want power, and like I said, Bills quarterback. I'm just having a brain fart.
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen. It's like if you want speed, Lamar Jackson, and if you want accuracy, Patrick Mahomes. If you want none of these, Daniel Jones.
Jesus.
Damn.
I'll see if I can find it because I paraphrased it, but it was along those lines.
Yeah. You want to laugh more, Phil? Daniel Jones as many playoff wins as Trevor Lawrence does.
That's true.
Still funny?
It's true.
Still funny, right?
Yeah.
I think it's funny.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So DJ, what's more likely to happen?
Uh-oh.
Derrick Henry going to Houston? Oh, I'm sorry. Not Derrick.
Saquon.
Barkley.
Saquon. Yeah, Saquon going to Houston or Derrick Henry going to Dallas?
I'd say Saquon going to Houston, just because he and Stroud have already been in communication. I mean, I think it'd be a good fit for him, too.
I don't think Barkley would go to the Cowboys. Unless he's
No,
to the Cowboys, then he's really
going
at the Giants.
Derrick Henry to the Cowboys.
Derrick Henry to the Cowboys or Saquon to Houston. What's more likely to happen?
Yeah, I'd definitely say Saquon to Houston. Yeah. And
Dallas
to
needs a running
piggyback off what
back.
Nori said, if he goes to Houston, the league's fucked. If he can stay healthy. If you sneeze on Saquon the wrong way, he'll snap his ankle in half.
Anyone with a health
But if you
issue,
don't,
there's
then
always
we're
a
good.
risk, right? There's always a risk with health issues. So, but Saquon's at the point where he's like, "Look, I'm trying to get paid because of these health issues, essentially." But it's not gonna pan out that way. Phil, anything your Jags have done in the offseason thus far?
Nothing. Nothing spectacular. Nothing. Yeah. Just lick our wounds.
Just dry your tears.
Yeah. It's been pretty quiet. We don't even know if we're keeping Ridley or not yet.
He's a free agent from what I saw.
Yeah, I think they're trying to re-sign him still, but I don't know if they've got that far yet.
Okay.
So we will see.
Little something fun on the meantime. FedEx has decided to opt out of the last 2 years of their naming rights on the stadium hosting where the Washington Communists host. So, as of right now, the Washington Commanders do not have a name on their stadium at this point. So,
You know they're changing. You know they're changing the name. Like the new owners going to stick with Commanders. They're changing it.
we'll see. I'm surprised they haven't announced something. So usually they would make that announcement already. So I thought they would have had something out there, but I don't know. I think we might have at least one more year of that mascot name. But they've been looking apparently for a new stadium site. So we'll see. The current I'm looking at this article. Their current agreement with the county expires in September of 2027. So, but on the stadium itself, they're looking for a new naming rights sponsor. FedEx still has a working relationship with the team that is separate from the naming rights on the stadium. So we'll see who decides to pick that up. So,
you know what's hilarious? The Panthers are raising the ticket prices next year. That is fucking funny.
That is hilarious.
That is fucking funny.
The
Exactly.
balls and
Why?
the audacity.
The coconuts.
Why?
The coconuts it does. Like
Jesus.
you don't even know if you have a franchise quarterback or not. Like if you had played like Stroud, then the Texans should be raising their prices, right?
you
Because
have
look
a
what the
team at
Texans
this
did.
point. Oh, Jesus.
But you don't even know if you have a franchise quarterback. If you had a really exciting franchise quarterback, then I kind of get it. But like
No.
Young's was in such a bad situation, you don't even know if it's him or you don't know if it's the team.
Yeah.
That's how bad it is over there.
Yes. Everything.
Speaking of the Panthers, who traded their first round pick to the Bears, and the Bears, got the number 1 pick overall.
Yep.
Do the Bears keep that pick, or will they trade out of it?
They're trading out of it.
They're
That's
straight up-
already confirmed.
Have they?
Well, it's not confirmed,
Obviously,
but
they're
the way the
getting offers,
GM,
I mean, they're looking to.
the way the
obviously
GM talked the other day, he
Mhm.
basically what did he say? Like verbatim, like it would be irresponsible to not, try to trade out if we can. And
Exactly. Oh yeah,
this and that.
they
So
are
it's like
they're looking for buyers.
If they
It's-
trade
in
out,
other
it's
words-
confirmed that they're sticking with Justin Fields.
That I
I
don't
don't see
know.
why wouldn't. No.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it? If they're going to trade out, then that means you're keeping Justin Fields a quarterback. Because if you're not going to trade out because you don't want Justin Fields, then you're going to take a quarterback.
Well,
So they're gonna
supposedly,
trade out. No,
supposedly the
Justin Fields
Falcons,
will
the
stay.
Steelers, and the Raiders all have some interest in Fields.
I mean,
As they should.
Yeah.
as they should.
The
He's a good quarterback.
Bears should not. The Bears should keep him and build around him. And how better to do that than with all the picks you're going to get from selling, quote unquote, your first round pick?
Nah,
Seriously.
let him go. Like not
Go where?
because wherever
Fields
he
isn't
can
the
flourish.
problem. Fields isn't the problem.
That's what I'm saying. Let
Yeah.
him go because he needs to flourish. The poor guy is in the shittiest situation next to Young, and he needs to flourish.
I was going to say that's the shittiest.
Well, I mean, yeah,
Go on.
that is by far the shittiest situation. But poor Justin Fields, 3-4 years, probably 3 to 4 coordinators. The front office is a fucking mess. Like, why be there? Let the kid go, let him flourish, and then not only you trade away your number 1, trade away Fields to get more draft picks, and then build around that. Like Chicago needs to be in purgatory for at least a few years before they get their shit together, and at least.
Yeah, but they're not going to be
Field-
prepared for that. Like,
I mean, they're not, but at least it gets Fields out of that shit, is what I'm saying.
to the Bears' credit, they started to look pretty good towards the end of the season when Fields finally just got his feet under him. But
I mean, so did the Raiders when they beat the shit out of Kansas City.
yeah, that's true.
Which was dope, by the way.
Yeah.
That was.
Yeah.
It was great.
So,
I enjoyed it thoroughly.
You know who's about to get paid is Mayfield,
oh,
wherever he
boy.
lands.
Oh man, if only Rob was here to.
Yeah, probably.
Yes.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he's going to stay in Tampa. Tampa's going to make sure he stays there. So,
And like
Oh, yeah,
it'd
for
be
sure.
crazy to leave Tampa. Crazy to leave.
other NFL rules, no, they're not going to be adopting any altered kickoff rule. That's going to be sticking the same. I believe the UFL is changing their kickoff rule up a bit. They're going to kind of doing something a little more traditional, but yeah. And then, yes, everyone was sitting there whining about, fumble out of the end zone. They should change that. No, they're not changing that. They've already announced that that's not happening. That's take care of the damn ball. That's basically what they said in a nutshell. So,
Well,
yep. All right. Well, NFL season's over, guys. We can We'll probably be getting together on here as we get closer to the draft. Probably have our live first round draft reaction once we can get that scheduled up. So, and we'll probably live stream that on our YouTube and Facebook pages. On the college football side of things, the college football playoff, we've known for a while that is going to be shifting to 12 teams next year. But they had to make a small change because the Pac-12 is now the Pac-2. So they don't get an automatic qualifier. So under the previous model, it was the top 6 conference champions got an automatic bid, with the top 4 obviously getting to be the top 4 seeds, and then you get 6 at-larges. But since it's now a Pac-2, it's basically they're doing the top 5 conference champions and then 7 at-large.
Funny.
Yeah. Which is in a way of them another way for them to keep that, only making sure only one non-power 4 conference now doesn't get into the college football playoff. But the interesting thing about this, yes, Notre Dame can still get into the playoff even though they're not in a conference of football. But even if they are the number 1 team in the country, the highest they can enter the playoff is 5. Because the top 4 seeds are reserved for the top 4 conference champions.
That's hilarious.
Yes. So
That's hilarious. They still get fucked, even if they're the best school in the nation. Hilarious.
Just like Florida State.
Look at that went for my team
would
this
say
year.
it's on
I wasn't going to bring it up, though. I was not trying to bring it up.
Just like it.
I was trying to be nice.
Just like that. Undefeated. Conference champ.
Phil's over there like, you ain't good enough. Have that conversation? Yeah.
Listen, I was not trying to bring it up, okay? I was legit saying you getting fucked.
I did.
Rip off that Band-Aid for me.
The difference is that's not Florida State's fault what happened to them.
That's true, too.
But if this happened to Notre Dame, this could be on Notre Dame for that because they refused to join a conference for football.
Yeah.
Does a rule like this make
because their money is too good for them not to? The
Yeah,
exposure.
I get that, but if you're missing out on a not saying that Notre Dame is even at that level completely yet, but if you miss out on a top 4 seed because you're not in a conference, does Notre Dame explore joining the ACC full time, like full on, like they are for every other sport? So
Well, they're talking about a 14-team model for the 2026 season already. That would make it a little better for Notre Dame as well.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, but this 12-team option is just set in place for the next 2 years with the basically the 5+7 model. And yeah, there's a 14. I mean, it's only going to get a little bigger from here. I think 16 should be the limit. If I'm not mistaken, that's the limit for the FCS playoffs. But yeah. So 12 teams, top 4 conference champions, plus another conference champion. So that's the changes making. People are still going to bitch and complain, but their team didn't get in. Someone's going to find a way to, obviously. So, but I just think the landscape's going to look completely different because Saban's retired. Who knows what else is going to change too as well. Harbaugh's gone from Michigan too as well. So, yep. Let's see. Okay, who here watched the NBA All-Star game?
Trash. Trash. No, I did not watch that because it's trash. It's been trash for a long time.
Oh my god. Yeah.
It's garbage.
I didn't watch it, but I saw the final score. I was like, oh man, that sounds like it was boring.
Yeah.
What does the NBA need to do to fix the All-Star game?
Make it like baseball.
Which is what?
When it gets home field.
No, they took that out of baseball a long time ago. They don't do that anymore.
Did it?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, well,
Home field
baseball and
advantage now depends on your
NBA
regular
should go back to
season
that.
People have suggested that, and yeah, it worked for a little bit with baseball, but then it was like, yeah, it didn't work out so well
Why didn't it work out?
because teams were like, well, we had a better record. Why don't we get home field? So they changed the rule like it's based on your regular season record now.
I guess you should have won the All-Star game then.
Yeah.
The fuck?
Yeah,
You're a fucking All-Star.
You're relying on
You and
people
other
that already
All-Stars should win the
Series
All-Star
to win
game,
a
right?
For you, so that's fine. But
NBA's they're just getting gimmicky with like the in-season tournaments and stuff. It's just like they're They're just throwing shit at the wall.
Mm-hmm. Well, for one, I don't think the people playing in the All-Star game aren't. I think the bonus for every player on the winning team is only 100,000 when you compare it to how much everything else is. So there's not really a big incentive to play. But I'm throwing this idea out there. I've heard this a few times. The All-Star game kind of lost its luster when LeBron James refused to join the dunk contest. And that's kind of where it started.
Oh, yeah. Stephen A. Smith is saying that. I kind of agree with him. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that too. You know,
Nori agree with
basically
Stephen A. Smith?
I agree with Stephen A. Smith most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Don't want to do
Most
this
of the time I do,
because
yeah.
LeBron James is he's a role model at the end of the day, and they see him not do that, so like, okay, well, I don't want to participate either. LeBron's not doing it, I shouldn't have to do it either. And so, here we are.
Mm-hmm. It's long gone are the days where players took pride in it, and it kind of sucks because you have people like LeBron who don't really show up and show out for it, or makes a whole bunch of crazy dunks in the layup line before a game, but on the biggest stage where you can have fun with a dunk contest, he refuses to do it, and it just doesn't make any sense. So I don't know. It's got to start with him to really change that culture. So the 3-point contest is like the most entertaining part of the weekend. So, but I got to ask, is that LED court going to come into play more and more? You think more teams kind of move to that?
Hard to say.
I hope so.
Yeah.
It'd be cool. It'd be hard to say.
Standings wise, no, your Knicks are climbing a little bit. So
They're starting to get healthy again. Yeah, they were missing OG for a while. And they were Mitchell Robinson might come back this year. Randall's been in and out. Yeah, they're about to get really healthy, and I hope Boston's really healthy when we play them.
Boston's streaking right now. They won 9 straight. 2 is Cleveland, Bucks, Knicks, Heat, Sixers are the top 6. And the play-in tournament right now is Pacers, Magic, Bulls, and Hawks right now at this point. So on the Western Conference side of things, you got Minnesota, Oklahoma City, Denver, Clippers, Suns, Pelicans, who, by the way, are winning that little social media battle with Stephen A. Smith. And then the play-in on that
Cooked him.
Sacramento.
Just cooked him.
Sacramento,
really
Dallas,
bad.
Golden State, and the Lakers. Crazy that Dallas, Golden State, and the Lakers are in the play-in tournament standings right now, guys. What world are we living in?
Nah, fuck them.
Yeah.
That works too.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, I don't know, maybe we kind of revisit this once a month. We want to talk a little NBA, but Nori, how confident are you Knicks can go far in the playoffs this year?
I think it's all about health. If they're healthy, I truly think they can beat anybody in a best of 7.
All right. Does anybody else want to join me in that? I think the Knicks are going to be representing the Eastern Conference in the NBA.
Nah, fuck that. The Knicks are winning it all. Okay.
Oh.
I need one for Nori. If I can't get one in my adult life for the Niners, I need one for Nori because fuck, they ain't won one since he's been alive, bro. Like that's
if
what
Shanahan
I want
stops
for him.
choking in the Super Bowl, then you would have one.
I mean, you right about that too, but like real talk, like I really want Nori's team to win one while he's here. That's my honest feeling about having to be a fan of a franchise that struggled. Not saying that they sucked all the time, but like just seeing it and you're not winning it. That just fucking blows.
I mean, they haven't been relevant in years. I mean, it's fair, yeah.
That's true, but like you get the feels like because like after what's his name from Detroit when they got that first playoff win and then that fan's been a fan for 66 years and they still haven't won a championship. Like I felt bad when we beat them, right? Because obviously one's got to go and win the championship. But damn, like had Detroit beat us, I'd have been 100% Detroit fan the entire time just to have that franchise get one. You know what I mean?
Country would have been a Detroit fan if the Lions were in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs for sure.
At that point, so
the irony of that is like 49ers did exactly what the Lions did in the NFC Championship.
Yeah, just couldn't finish it. That's all it
Choke.
was. Nah, they didn't choke. No, choking is 28-3. That's choking. All right. We don't talk about that.
Okay. Okay. Touche. Touche. Okay. Yeah. No. No arguments there.
All right. Well, I'm thinking the Knicks come out of the East, out of the West. Whew, I think Denver is going to repeat. They're just starting to hit their stride right now. So
Yeah, they don't need to be the number one seed again.
no, as long as they get in, they're gonna just take off.
They'll be a real tough out for anybody.
I think the toughest thing for me to trust Minnesota, other than the fact that it's Minnesota, is yeah, they play games here and everything, win here, but when one of your top players scores 60 some odd points in a game and you still lose,
Yep.
that's
crazy.
Your defense isn't really there. And by the way, he only had
That's
4
crazy.
points in the fourth quarter of that said game. So yeah, if you get Karl Anthony Towns going, I feel like teams can just, all right, we'll let him score all the points, but we can shut everybody else down, So I'm just not sold on Minnesota, even though they're top seed. I think it's fool's gold for them right now. But I think it's going to be Denver and the Knicks in the NBA Finals this year. So I think it'll be a good one too.
You know what? If the Knicks can stay healthy, like Nori said, I believe that they've got a good shot to win it.
Mhm.
Because when they are healthy, it's disgusting how good they are.
They were a
It really
good
is.
team before the trade deadline, and then they became a top tier team. Like when all of social media, who like a lot of them laugh at the Knicks, like, oh, they're a joke, whatever, and they have been a joke the last couple of years, but they've been a good team. Like out the first round, out the second round, since we got Jalen Brunson, beginning of last year, right?
Mhm.
Now they're like, holy crap! This, like, when we were healthy, when we did that trade, we played Denver and beat them by 42.
Yeah,
Once I saw that,
it was ridiculous.
and we have people on our bench that could start on other teams, I'm like, this is a wrap. If we're healthy, this is a wrap.
Yeah. Well, I hope they
Like
stay healthy.
even Thibs can't outcoach himself this time.
Damn, he right. He right though.
No, that was ridiculous. 42 points against the defending champs. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
At one point, when I didn't watch the game, but when I was looking at highlights and I looked at the score, I thought that Denver's first string just didn't play. Like all of them. Nobody played. Yeah. I was very surprised to see that's not true when everybody played. And they got their asses kicked. Just the way it was.
All right. Well, Phil, the UFL season's upon us. You're a season ticket holder, if I'm not mistaken, correct? For the Brahmas?
Correct.
Yep.
Yep.
What are you looking forward to seeing out of the team this season? With Wade Phillips as head coach, by the way, of the Brahmas.
I mean, I don't know.
Yes.
It's fun to go to the games, and I hope they win and hope they do well. I'm not going to hold out a bunch of hope because it's just so unknown. You can never tell with the way everything moves around in that league how it's going to go. I mean, it's a great avenue for players to move up into the NFL. I think they signed like over 20 of them.
Mhm.
I think over the last year. At least the practice squads are better. So I just hope it's an entertaining season because I had a blast and I can't wait for the season to start up. First home game's 31st of March.
So, well, as for us, another football season is done. We might be doing a little episode here once a month if we get time. Talk a little basketball. Talk a little update on NFL free agency. Obviously, we'll be doing something around the first round of the NFL draft, probably a live stream, as I mentioned already. Maybe to look into the schedule release, which is usually right before or right after the NFL draft. So we'll spend some time discussing that, and then yeah, that's kind of what's on the horizon for us in the offseason of the NFL. But maybe once a month we'll get together, especially if Nori's Knicks get into the playoffs and are making a run. I'm sure we're going to be talking a whole lot.
Oh man.
So. Yeah. So stay tuned. Keep us subscribed if you haven't already, and give us a listen. We appreciate you joining us for the NFL season. Once again, I'm JC, your resident Titans fan, and as an Astros fan, enjoying that spring training is back. baseball is slowly coming back. So I love this time of year, getting to see all the games and everything like that. So joining me this week we have.
I'm hurt. I hate all of you. Fuck off. Oh, Chickenwing.
Don't blame us. Your team's fault.
Whatever.
And it's end of February. Go Knicks.
Good evening, DJ here. And Mike, don't blame us because Shanahan choked again.
Yeah.
I hate you so much.
This is Phil hoping we sign Derrick Henry.
Jesus.
Just so
I support this. I'm pulling a Rob. I support this. Chaos.
No.
Chaos.
be the greatest thing ever.
Go Lions. That's fine. I don't give a shit. Go Lions.
Thank you for joining us, everyone, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks everyone once again for listening to the Sports Minorities Podcast. We do appreciate it. If you want to keep the conversation going, we're on Twitter at Sports Minor Pod and also on Facebook at Sports Minorities. Our YouTube channel, Sports Minorities. Search on there. We live stream every now and then, just some random stuff. And you can also reach us via email, sports.minorities@gmail.com. We do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to listen to us, and we'll catch y'all next time.
So Rob is on here, but he fell asleep for real.
I think so.
He does that.
Yeah.
It's his Asian powers.
Yeah.
Is he like narcolepsy or something?
No, he just does
No,
that.
He's just Filipino.
he's a bitch.
That's what happens.
Just a bitch. That's it.
That dude. Yeah, he's just a bitch.